Kathy Vick, Deeply Awake Chats 2017, and I'm really glad to be in front of you today. I have a few things to share and express and give. This has been a tremendously great wave of integration that has sort of made landfall, and because of that there have been changes not only in my countenance to a really big degree, but in some of my decisions. To the outside world, if they are able to hear what it is I am emitting, understand that part of the gig is that I channel people who are not from around here, energies that are not from around here, and those who are open to it have been touched by those energies. They've smelled them, they've dreamt about them, they've been reminded of them, and some of them now walk with these energies. I don't own the energies. They're just something that me and a bunch of my people know about and are. And I really can stand as a conglomerate, as a cohesive group of energies and awarenesses that have coalesced to a signature that's mine. When I had my near-death experience in May of 2012, the second one, my family came to me and they explained a little bit about this. I had already, I thought, been through a lot of pain. So they were referencing that. And they said, this being through the eye of the needle, this is to discover your energetic signature. That's it. Because, when they came to me, their faces flashed like every millisecond. Pew, 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 pew. And it's because those were lives they'd lived that, led to the magnificence they were. And they weren't, they'd been incarnated on planet after planet, and they were formless. They were formless. Sure, they'd been incarnated, and maybe they rocked a couple of skins, but that's not the point. That's just not the point. And I asked him when I saw them all, because I wanted, Saint Germain, and I wanted Archangel Michael, and I wanted people I could recognize, and say, yeah, that's my totem. Oh, that's who comes to me. Isn't he beautiful? And even Jesus wasn't represented. Jesus was a drop in the beauty bucket around that circle. A footnote. And I hope you understand that I understand what I'm saying. Much of the former teaching has come back, and it's been razor sharp, the focus. Beyond, it is not to be questioned anymore, the synchronicity. I won't reveal details, but I had a vision that involved a color, and through a series of events, this simple thing was combined with another great soul's awarenesses, and we were able to see much as we combined our energy and realized that we were working cooperatively with each other. We were being worked with cooperatively. Not anything new to either of us. But somehow, in that flash of realization, it was far too complicated, far too personalized for each, and far too poignant and healing for both to be anything but a complex, entangled, true. What do you want to call it? I mean, I hear some people talk about, yeah, I had a dream, and then I got a call that my grandma died. I had a dream she died, and then I got a phone call. Isn't that weird? Yes. Sure. Okay. It's a good start. That's what I'd call that. And then having been yesterday taken in a feeling of I really want to discuss it because I think that it's primary to the shift that's going on within me, and it leads to the knowledge I received in meditation. I had a moment when I was brought to a very, very, very primal place. The place where there is separation. This separation is internalized. And the feeling that it produces is curious, intense, unpleasant, and certain that I, in my physical body, in my life, in my expression, am not and cannot be complete. And I tell you, that's a place that is well, it's primal. It led me to my porch. I was brought, like dragged by my nose out to the porch, and I was shown a magnificent tableau that is out there every day. It's just that I wasn't ready for them to talk to me. But those trees and that fauna, I learned a great deal. They counseled me on the truths of separation and connection. Above the ground, these trees, one beautifully lush, symmetrical, at peace, next to one of a different species, next to another, like the first, but the first almost cancerous, overtaking its immediate neighbor, sucking the sunlight. I saw 3 patches of moss, very large, and then it was as if the contrast of the rock garden and the dirt was removed. And I saw that those 3 patches of moss are one organism. And though those 3 trees are their own organisms, they are entangled. Further, each have will. Now, trees are willing to take on attributes to help us, to teach us. So there are limitations, and one of the limitations is they are unable to move in space. Even that koan was correct. And so what I gained was this understanding that on the surface there may be competition that winds up being survival based. Life and death, all that crap. It's not, but it looks like it. There can be no embracing. There's no 11. There's no embracing. But they led me through so much. They showed me how, as above, so below, that there is communication, that it's etheric, and it's cooperative. It appears to a competitive mind to be competitive. But it is done as a family, in agreement and in love. And I lay down on my bed then, and I realized, well, everything's switched. The light quotient's different. I could be saying it, but I don't know. It's just finally coming into full awareness, maybe. I saw my body lit up as white light. My bones were white light, my whole body. And they asked me, when I was trying to feel better in this world, I was shown the tool of as if. And so I would go into social situations trying to remember to act as if I'm confident, to act as if I am loved, to act as if I am loved, to act as if I belong here to somebody, although I don't, to just act as if. And they said, listen, as you act as if, what happened? And I realized, well, when I act as if, then that happens. I am that. I have that experience. They said, good, well, look at your body, dear. You're lit up. Look at your hip. And I saw the overlays. I saw the devices. I began to see the energy take on qualities. They said, now you begin to understand you're acting as if you are human. You are acting as if you have a bad hip. You're acting as if you don't understand what's going on here. What happens as you act as if? The hip hurts and the pain continues. That's a big deal. There has been a lot of information, I think it was 2 days ago I was told, 2 days ago, just somehow get through this day. And it was a tough one. Get through it. It's completely different tomorrow. Just, it's okay. Whatever happens today is fine. It's going to be different tomorrow. And it was, and it has been. It continues. There's been a flip. So this morning, my friend Jennifer is saying on my one of these freaking political posts I did, she said she had this aha moment and realized, hey, I don't want to be looking at this anymore. I couldn't agree with you more, Jennifer. For me, it's the cutter deal that seals it. Once people stumble upon that, the question remains, when is enough enough? And it's shocking to me that enough is not enough. Okay, all right, dear ones, continue. But I'm checking out because I don't want to act as if anymore. And this is in full knowledge of what's going on, okay? I realize now that I can use my energy. I can use what I bring here far more effectively in 5 minutes of meditation than in 3 hours of watching news feeds. I'm still going to check in from time to time. But today's check-in was really a lot different than yesterday's. And it's a physically uncomfortable feeling now. Because of the undulation I've talked about, it just feels like there's just constant motion, constant motion, constant motion, constant motion. And I realized today that I was shown that has to do with just switching harmonics. And we're going to keep seeing this. It's going to keep on going until the eclipse. So just, roll with it, baby. But it's not what this is about. And you've seen, and I mean it. I feel like these lost individuals, they're my grandchildren. They don't understand what they're doing. And me looking on and saying, hey, you don't understand what you're doing, isn't helping. It's helping me. It helped me. But I think now that the illusion is broken, I'll now do what I do best. And I can change things far more effectively when it's time. When I go into meditation, it's always just a question of when it's time. You can meditate on doing a declaration. You can try to do whatever. Until it's time, it's not time. So, but for me and for a lot of my people, now is the time to move beyond. And many have done a great amount of work to really be either physically removed from or financially removed from, or in all ways just sort of embedded within but not part of these systems. And I think that if the mass consciousness is going through this quiver, it's because there's a different harmonic available finally that's accessible. And so they're moving. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And anybody who's been there knows when you are sitting in meditation or sitting in your car and you're beyond words with the intensity of your emotions, whether they be gratitude or joy or despair and bitter sadness, well, I contend it's in those moments of purity that we come to know ourselves and drop some of the illusions. It's in those pure moments of that I think that emotion is like rocket fuel. They're like different escalator strips that you can take to the same place. It goes beyond all emotion, where emotion is color, it's sound, it's patterns, and it's beautiful. But it's energy, and used as such is phenomenal. So this is about resonance, and it's about energetics for me. It's about my energetic signature, and then trusting my resonance in essence. Because after that big huge meditation, okay, where I'm like, oh yeah, the quotient switched, then I sit up and I get three words. I get Shekinah, spelled Shekinah. Shekinah. That's how I pronounce it. Shekinah, and I got 444. Yeah, maybe it was just Shekinah 444. Well, anyway, I Googled it, and a website came up, and I've seen her work before, but I'd never seen the website, and it was talking right to me. And I'm cool with that. Talking about Blu-rays, it was just freaky, the list of similarities. It's beyond question. Blu-rays are normally water signs with a heavy Virgo influence. Okay. Pisces, Virgo, anybody? Yeah, that's just one. It's just this long list. Oh, okay, cool. I'm home. Wow. And I read about about ascension, and that's my way. And now I can finally just live it and not argue about it. Isn't that super great? So I wanted to mention this before I come back and channel, because what they've told me is that it is no longer. It's not time to fool around with this. They've explained, okay, the function of the channeling is, and I know this, is to download pure information, and then you can run with it. Then you get to interpret it or whatever, argue with it or whatever. Good luck with that one, but you know what I mean. And they keep saying, being that we're pure raw information is required at this time. It is being requested, and it needs to be given up. So just get over yourself, girly, and get on with the work. So, knowing that I am them and they are me helps. I think it should also help that for you, with your comfort level, the stuff that they talk about is the stuff I then live out. Okay, it's not like I just poop it out so that you can consume it and do with it what you will. I'm also doing that. So it's like what Lee Carroll said. Cryon would put him on a little quest, and would go boop, say Peru, boop, and then Lee would have to run off to Peru and figure out what the heck. It's a lot like that. And it's super fun. And I just am done. I just can't wait. I just feel good. It's wow, bye. Whew, whew. And it's not because it hurt. It's owie, and I don't want to look at it. No. Well, it's super owie, but that's not why I'm turning away. I'm not even turning away. I'm absorbing. Isn't that nice? So, my whole thing was about, I was trying to deal with completion, having not been completed this lifetime. Having nearly been completed, And realizing in those moments how unattainable it apparently is. And I'm really not talking about like, I'm talking about partnership, but I'm talking about expression as a human being. And it is cute that Cryon has talked about fortressing when people get really super massive big, like I was. And the teachers talked about it too. And one of the functions is it's called fortressing, and it's simply because it's a reminder on the physical, visual level, like my boobs are big to remind me and everybody else I'm female. A big, huge body reminds self and others of massiveness. And Grant said, you cannot be energetically, electrically complete here. It's not possible. We are not this. We are so much more. And that is a truth. And until you're okay with that, one of the ways in which it can sometimes be translated is in a massive body habitus. That's beautiful, isn't it? And then understanding that fat holds more light than muscle or water. Can you not see how shamanistic it is and how beautiful it is? And how indirect and passive it is? How unlanguaged it is? How innate it is? So this sense of being and forever being incomplete. It's sort of like when I think of that thought, I see the yin-yang. Because there is nothing but completion. There's nothing but coherence. And yet. And listening to a reading of the Book of Thoth, well, that's been helpful. That brings it all home for me. Thoth has been with me my whole life, and every time I encounter that work, I know that I am him and he is me. And he's not someone who is exclusive. He's a lot of people's person. And being reminded of so many truths that have been obscured and diminished, hidden and twisted just enough. Oh, it's nice to run free. It's nice to remember the halls, the rejuvenation, the longevity, the wisdom. And I'm so thankful that what doesn't bubble up right now is, and some people would think this is crazy. I think some people are not as important as they once were. I'm going to channel next because I want to know more about the eclipse, and there's more. It's just tip of the tongue, back of the brain, inside the eyelids kind of thing. And it needs to come out. I hope you're having a great Saturday, and I hope you're having a great ascension. Namaste.